Welcome to the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, where we share simple, practical ways to help older adults stay safer, healthier, and more independent. I'm Robin Schiltz, a Senior Home Safety Specialist, and I'm glad you're here with me today. We're talking about how to help an aging parent communicate with their doctor without taking over the conversation today. And remember, you can always find more helpful tips and resources anytime at seniorsafetyadvice.com. If you've ever gone to a doctor's appointment with an aging parent like I have, you can know how awkward it feels. You want to help them, you might have some important information that the doctor needs to hear, but you also don't want to embarrass your parent and speak over them or make them feel as though you're the adult and they're the kid and they've lost control over their own health care. When you go to an appointment like this, the goal isn't to take over the appointment, it is to become a good second set of ears, a calm helper, and a clear source of information when your parent needs you. A good place to start is before you walk into the exam room. Talk with your parent ahead of time and ask them if there's anything they want to have any help with. For example, you might say, "Would you like me to take notes during the appointment?" Or, "Is there anything you want me to be sure that we ask the doctor?" That small conversation can prevent tension later, and it reminds everyone that this is still your parent's appointment. Whenever possible, let your parent answer the doctor's questions first. Give them a moment to think about what they want to say, because older adults sometimes need a little more time to remember a detail or to find the right word. If you jump in too quickly, you might accidentally make your parent feel invisible. You might also miss the chance to hear how they understand what's happening. Of course, now there are times when you do need to add information. For example, maybe your father says to the doctor, "I'm doing fine, but you have noticed that he's fallen twice this month." The doctor needs to know. Or maybe your mom says she always takes her medications correctly, everything's good, but you have found a couple of missed doses in her pill organizer. This is where facts are more useful than labels. So instead of saying, "Dad is getting really confused, doctor," you have to say things like, "Dad has missed 3 appointments in the last month, and twice this week he asked me what day it was, so I'm concerned." Instead of saying, "Oh my gosh, Mom can barely walk anymore," tell the doctor, "Mom used to walk to the mailbox every day, but during the past couple of weeks she's needed to stop and rest when she's halfway there, so I'm concerned." Having specific examples like that gives the doctor something useful to work with. If the information is sensitive, talk with your parent beforehand if possible. You can say, "I think the doctor needs to know about your falls. Are you comfortable bringing it up, or would you rather that I do it?" That gives your parent a chance to stay involved instead of feeling exposed. There may also be things you don't feel comfortable saying in front of your parent. Maybe you're worried about memory changes, unsafe driving, medication mistakes, or something else that could lead to an argument in the exam room. In that case, contact the office before the appointment. Ask how they prefer family members share concerns. They may suggest a patient portal message or a phone call or a written note to the healthcare provider. Keep your message short and specific. Explain what you've observed, how often it happens, and why you're concerned about it. One of the biggest sources of confusion for families is medical privacy. If your parent is able to make their own healthcare decisions, it helps to have them tell the doctor that they want you involved. The doctor may also have a form your parent can complete, which will allow staff to discuss certain medical information with you. Please, please do not wait for a crisis to ask about getting this form signed. If your parent wants your help, getting permission documented ahead of time makes communication easier. Under the HIPAA laws, healthcare providers may share information related to a family member's involvement in care when the patient agrees or does not object. But if your parent can no longer make their own healthcare decisions and you're their legally authorized representative, you need to let the medical office know. You want to ask what paperwork they need from you, and the exact documents and authority involved can depend on the situation and state law. At the appointment, bring a simple list. Include your main concerns, recent changes you have observed, and questions you do not want to forget. Bring an up-to-date medication list as well, including prescription medicines, over-the-counter medicines, vitamins, and supplements. The National Institute on Aging specifically recommends preparing questions and medication information before medical visits. Try to choose the 2 or 3 most important issues for that visit, because if you arrive with a long list and ask which concerns you have the most, you need to be focused on what is the most important, because doctors are under a time limit and sometimes they can only address a couple of things. While the doctor's talking, take notes if your parent wants you to. Keep in mind that appointments can move quickly. Getting new instructions, medication changes, test orders, and follow-up plans can all blur together by the time you get home. So before leaving, make sure you understand the next step. You can ask something, for example, what should we do when we get home? Or when should we expect test results? Or who should we call if this gets worse? Or never hurts to say, "Doctor, can you please explain that in simpler terms?" There's no prize for pretending you understand something that you don't. And if your parent looks confused, avoid saying, "Mom, we already talked about this." Instead, bring the doctor back into the conversation. You could say something like, "Can we go over that one more time so we both understand what happens next?" That protects your parent's dignity while still getting the information you need. If your parent has memory loss or dementia, this becomes even more important. Please speak respectfully and include them in the conversation as much as possible, and avoid talking about them as though they're not sitting there. Even when you need to provide extra information, you can still say, "Dad, I'm going to mention the trouble we've been having with the medicine," so that the doctor has the full picture. That one sentence can make the conversation feel much less threatening. You don't have to be a perfect advocate and you don't need medical training, but you do need to notice what's happening, write down what matters, listen carefully, and help your parent leave with a clear plan. When it works well, speaking up does not take independence away from your parent. It helps to protect it. Good communication can help problems get noticed earlier, make instructions easier to follow, and give both you and your parent more confidence about what comes next. So before the next appointment, have a short conversation with your parent. Ask them, "How would you like me to help with this?" That's a respectful place to begin and often is the most important question of all. So thanks so much for being here with me today. I hope this gives you a little more confidence the next time you accompany someone you love to the doctor. For more senior safety and caregiving tips, visit us at seniorsafetyadvice.com. And if you need an Aging in Place professional, please visit our sister website at aginginplacedirectoryhub.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to this podcast or to our YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Robin. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.